Still not sure what to ask Santa for? Well, lucky for you, this December is busier than normal, so we've got some great ideas for your wish list. Here are 10 of the biggest games coming out in December 2022. The Callisto Protocol is a new survival horror game set on one of Jupiter's moons, Callisto. More specifically, it's set in a prison called Black Iron located on Callisto in 2320, with protagonist Jacob Lee finding himself trapped as mutated humans begin taking over and murdering other inmates. If Dead Things in Space sound familiar, that's because the Callisto Protocol is being developed by Dead Space co-creator Glen Schofield's new company, Striking Distance Studios. The game features a mix of up-close melee combat and ranged weaponry, letting you improvise and decide what the best tool in a specific situation is. Because of relatively limited ammunition, like in most survival horror games, you won't be blasting away mindlessly trying to survive. However, powerful weapons will still be able to destroy limbs, potentially slowing down enemies as they approach. I'm way too scared to play the Callisto Protocol, but you can play it for me when the game releases for PC and every console except for Switch on December 2nd. Marvel's Midnight Suns is the next game from developer Firaxis Games, the studio behind Civilization and the past 3 XCOM games. Though it has tactical strategy elements, Marvel's Midnight Suns is far from a superhero reskin of XCOM. Instead of set abilities, your heroes will each have a deck of ability cards that get shuffled together when you bring 3 of them into combat together. These cards range from basic attacks to special skills, allowing you to buff other players or toss enemies around the battlefield. The cards can also be customized with variations to suit your playstyle. The story in Midnight Suns is based loosely on the 90s comic book series, Rise of the Midnight Suns, a crossover event that paired up the Avengers with more supernatural and magic-based characters to stop a demonic threat. Marvel's Midnight Suns will drop for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on December 2nd. Need for Speed has a number of games about street racing, but Need for Speed Unbound just might be one of the most distinct entries in the long-running series, thanks to its cel-shaded visuals that make it look like a high-speed anime series. In the story, players will attempt to win the Grand, the ultimate street racing challenge in Lakeshore, collecting cars and using them as a canvas to show off their personal style on the streets. EA has confirmed that there'll be 143 cars to collect and customize, with the list of available vehicles being a mix of iconic racing machines and modern monsters. The game has more than 10,000 customization options to choose from that includes more than just installing new parts. And whether you're just adding new graffiti-like effects or taking first place, you're going to want something dope to listen to. Unbound will have more than 70 tracks, with the playlist including ASAP Rocky, Kelvin Crash, Slow Tie, and more in a collection inspired by global hip-hop artists. Need for Speed Unbound will be racing onto PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC on December 2nd. Hello Neighbor 2 is a stealth adventure game that also falls into the family-friendly horror genre. It's the sequel to 2017's Hello Neighbor, but it's the 3rd game in the series if you count the 2019 multiplayer game Secret Neighbor. Unlike the first game, which had you investigating your neighbor's basement for secrets, the entire town of Ravenbrooks is hiding secrets from you this time around. As Quentin, your job is to sneak around town and get to the bottom of the series of missing persons reports coming from this suspiciously peaceful town. But don't expect to find those secrets easily. Hello Neighbor 2 features sophisticated AI-controlled neighbors that will learn from you and do everything they can to keep you away from the skeletons in their closet. Hello Neighbor 2 is sneaking onto PC and every console except for Switch on December 6th. It'll also be available day 1 on Game Pass. Chained Echoes is a 16-bit style JRPG set in the fantasy world of Atlantis, a vast continent with 3 kingdoms at war. In the game, you play as a group of heroes that aim to bring an end to that war. To do this, you'll travel across various locations, battling enemies using a sword, magic, or even a mech suit. Chained Echoes features fast-paced, turn-based combat, tons of items to loot, a complex skill system, a customizable airship, and music inspired by classic PlayStation RPGs of the past. Find out if you can bring peace to this nation when Chained Echoes launches on PC and every console on December 8th. Choo-Choo Charles is an open-world adventure horror game in which your goal is to destroy a bloodthirsty spider train named Charles. Let me say that again so it really sinks in. A bloodthirsty spider train named Charles. Reminds me of how Thomas the Tank Engine has made an appearance as the enemy in a number of games thanks to mods. In the game, you'll navigate your own train through a Tetris play area to loot, carry out missions, and help settlers in order to upgrade your train and obtain high-powered weapons. And when you're ready, you can take on Charles and finally put an end to his terror. You can develop a fear of trains when Choo-Choo Charles comes to PC on December 9th. In Dragon Quest Treasures, you play as Eric and his sister Mia after being transported to the land of free-roaming monsters called Draconia. Luckily, not all of these monsters are out to get you, and some can be befriended in order to better traverse the map and score treasures from hard-to-reach places. It's up to you to put together the best treasure hunting game possible, and to help you do that, there's a base where you can swap party members or send groups out on their own for a chance at scoring rare loot. Draconia is also home to the 7 Dragon Stones, and you'll have to beat rival gangs to each one if you're keen on having the whole collection. What will you find when Dragon Quest Treasures releases on Switch December 9th? Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is a faithful retelling of the 2007 PSP title Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. At the center of the game is Zack Fair, a young Shinra soldier who both original Final Fantasy fans and Final Fantasy VII Remake fans alike will recognize as a close colleague of Cloud Strife. The game follows his mission to locate a missing soldier by the name of Genesis Rhapsody. Though as you can imagine, things don't go quite as smoothly as Zack might have hoped. The game acts as a prequel to Final Fantasy VII, with Zack's story being a significant chapter in the lives of Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, and Sephiroth. Players can look forward to improved HD graphics, refreshed character models, fully voice-acted dialogue, and a new arrangement for the soundtrack. It will also serve as our first HD look at some key locations that will surely be in the next chapters of the Final Fantasy Remake trilogy. You can relive your PSP days when Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion drops on PC and every console on December 13th. High on Life is a first-person shooter from the mind of Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites co-creator Justin Roiland and Squanch Games. In the main campaign, you play as an unemployed high school graduate who teams up with a group of talking guns to save the cosmos from an alien cartel looking to literally get high off humanity. To do this, you'll travel to a variety of locations, such as a jungle paradise and a city built inside of an asteroid. You'll meet interesting, weird, and hilarious characters, collect loot and an array of alien technology, and kick a ton of intergalactic ass. High on Life is coming to PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X and S on December 13th and will be playable on Xbox Game Pass at launch. We also have 30 minutes of gameplay up on the channel right now, so check it out. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is one of my favorite games of all time, and this December, the game is getting a facelift for next-gen consoles and PC. The Witcher 3 will now include ray tracing and ambient occlusion on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, a photo mode, and new camera modes that bring it closer to Geralt. There are a variety of other quality of life improvements coming with the update, including new walking and jogging options for Geralt, and the ability to change the size of the game's subtitles. The new update arrives on December 14th alongside the Complete Edition, which includes the base game, all DLC, and the 2 major expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine. At launch, the Complete Edition will be digital only, but the physical version is coming later. For those who already own The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, they can get the next-gen upgrades for free. Let us know in the comments which game you're most excited to play in December, and look out for the biggest games of January video later in the month.